Alright guys, it's so good to see your face. It's a Friday afternoon and I'm going to be getting out of the office in a bit to go shooting, as you're going to find out here in a moment. But I'm here with my brand new iPhone 11 Pro, and I tell you what guys, I went down and picked it up at 3 p.m. local time, which is the earliest I could get my hands on it. Now this is an upgrade for me from the iPhone 10, and I'm dying to see if all the hype about the new camera is legit or if it's just Apple blowing smoke. Now, I figured a beach outing is going to be a great way to put this iPhone 11 through its paces, and we're going to see if this bad boy can deliver a little bit later. Now, before we get going, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. We put all this content together to be able to help you, and so we do appreciate your support. Now, before we dive into the on-location stuff with the iPhone 11, I wanted to do a quick comparison of the iPhone, or this iPhone, excuse me, and the iPhone 10. Now, for starters, guys, these things look pretty much the same from the front. Actually, when you put them both side by side, I didn't notice anything. Now, the really only noticeable design difference are, of course, on the back side of this thing. So you have this matte finish on here, and of course, you can't mistake these cameras. It really does kind of jump out a little bit. Now, the new phone is slightly larger and thicker than the iPhone 10, but the differences is so small that you would likely not even notice it unless somebody had actually told you or actually pointed it out. Now, the iPhone 11 does have a A13 Bionic processor that Apple claims will run faster and better performance over the A11 Bionic chip that is in the iPhone 10. Now, likewise, the iPhone 11 has what's called a Super Retina HDR screen, which offers better brightness and contrast ratio over the iPhone 10's Super Retina HD screen. Now, paired with a 4-core graphics as opposed to the 3-core that is in the iPhone 10, you do notice a difference in the quality of the screen with the iPhone 11 compared to the iPhone 10. That's something I've noticed already. Now, however, they both offer the same sharpness at 458 pixels per inch, so you don't really gain much there. Now, one of the biggest differences is obviously the cameras, and that is the reason why I bought this phone, is to see whether this camera is as good as Apple says. My iPhone 10 has 2 cameras, a wide angle and a telephoto on the back, but the iPhone 11 has 3 cameras. We have an ultra wide angle, we have a wide angle, and we have a telephoto. Now, in each case, the camera offers a 12 megapixel resolution. Now, the ultra wide lens has a 13 millimeter equivalent field of view with a f2.4, and it has no optical image stabilization. Now, the wide lens has a 26 millimeter equivalent field of view at f1.8, and it does have optical image stabilization. The tele-lens has a 52 millimeter equivalent field of view and a f2.0, and it does have optical image stabilization. Now, additionally, the front camera on the iPhone X offered 7 megapixels, while the front camera on the iPhone 11 is 12 megapixels, and that is a big difference. Actually, I've already noticed that as well. I just kind of had them up both side by side, and you really notice a difference with that. Now, the iPhone 11 has better video functionality, including a slow motion selfies feature and the ability to record HD video at 60 frames per second. If you read about the iPhone 11's camera, you know that everyone is talking about the low light performance in this thing. Now, this is part of the reason why I wanted to use tonight's sunset as a test subject. I want to see just how good this camera is in low light situations. The improved low light shooting is the result of 100% focused pixels in the phone's 2 wide angle lenses. In fact, Apple claims these cameras are so capable that their photos look like they were taken with a mirrorless or a DSLR camera. And this is where things are going to get really interesting, guys, because this evening I'm going to bring out a Nikon Z7 with me. I'm going to bring out the Sony a6400, and wherever the hell I did with my iPhone 10, I'm going to bring that out with us as well. So there's going to be 2 iPhones, I'm going to have 2 mirrorless cameras, and I'm going to share these photos with you, and I'm not going to tell you till a little bit later in the video as far as which photos were taken with which, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun for all of us to see just how well this camera goes head to head. I'm extremely doubtful it's going to come anywhere near the Nikon. I mean, it's possible, I guess, with the Sony. I mean, we'll see. And then of course, how much of a difference is there from the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 11? So I'm anxious to get out. What do you say? Let's get going. Come on. Okay, I'm back in my office. So now I'm going to show you 4 shots and video footage taken by each camera. What I'd like to do is show you the photos and videos twice. The first time, each photo and footage will have either an A, B, C, or D to identify which camera actually took the photo. The second time you're going to see the photos or the images and the footage here will have the same letter, but this time will actually show which camera took the photo or the footage along with it. Okay, so one thing I do want to point out here is all the images and footage are straight out of the camera. There's been no editing, no color grading, absolutely nothing's been done. So let's take a look at what we have here. The images for the first time, let's have a little fun. Now, do you think you know which is which? Now keep in mind there's a Nikon Z7, there's a Sony a6400, the iPhone 10, and of course the iPhone 11 Pro has been used here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video right now, go down below, leave a comment on which camera you think goes with which letter. Go ahead, do it, I'll wait. You done? Okay, here comes the second round with all the images and footage, and this time we're going to be showing which camera took each of the previous photos. seen the photos a couple times now, and you've seen it with the knowing which camera took each shot. Now, personally, I'm looking at the photos from the beach, and I have to say I'm pretty impressed with the quality of the photos that came out of this iPhone 11. There's good color, there's excellent sharpness, nice contrast, just everything that you would want. I was particularly impressed with the low light functionality of the iPhone 11, but I have to admit, I was a little skeptical at first. But as you can see, when the low light photo mode is active, it makes a significant difference in the shots. It really does. For me, there was a clear win between the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 11 Pro. The iPhone 11 Pro just took it by a large margin. But with so many similarities between the iPhone 10 and the 11, is it really worth the $1,200 upgrade? In just a few days of testing, I can say that the iPhone 11 Pro is a solid phone, and it does exactly what Apple is claiming in terms of having more capable set of cameras on it. But does it really create the claimed DSLR or mirrorless quality photos? You know, look, if we are talking about photos being shown on social media or small prints, I think the iPhone 11 Pro can duke it out and really punch out of its weight class easily. It's definitely a big step forward from its predecessors, and from what it is, it's capable of creating amazing photos and videos. But here's the disclaimer with this. I've only examined the image quality in small format. Now, whether or not the iPhone 11 can deliver DSLR quality images for large prints remains to be seen. So the big win for this is by far the camera, the improved battery life, the faster processor. You get a slightly better display than what was on the iPhone 10. Now, does it deserve the name Pro? Eh. Now, what would have been cool is to see the annoying knots removed or at least made smaller, USB Type-C, and ditch the lightning port, but I guess we can all be thankful because this time at least they did include a fast charger for us. Now, it does seem a little buggy, and at least mine heats up right in the center or something horrible. So would I recommend it? If you can afford it and really need to have the best camera with longer battery life, I think it's a solid investment and a good upgrade over the iPhone 10. If you aren't interested in the camera, and honestly, I would wait until 2020 for the iPhone 12 and its new rumored design. Though there isn't much difference in the size and the appearance of these phones, what's under the hood, and especially the cameras, can make a significant difference in the quality of images and the videos you're able to get out of these things. Now, if you like this video and found it helpful, please hit the like button down below and do all that YouTube stuff like subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and hit the bell to be notified when we come out with new videos. So my friend, we appreciate your support and we can't wait to see you again.